Ladies and gentlemen, right off the jump, this isn't a build video. It's more or less just highlighting an interesting interaction, or concept. A concept video, if you would. And unless you're someone who's been hibernating for the entirety of Season of Plunder, you're probably well aware of the potency of the Titan's Touch of Thunder enhanced storm grenades. For those of you who are not in the know, they're really strong. Like, best single grenade damage output in the game, strong. And trust me on this one, I have tested them all. So as a Titan, how could you throw these grenades more frequently? Probably the most obvious, spec hardened discipline. You got your standard grenade energy armor mods. Maybe set yourself up with a nice elemental well build. Focus on Ionic Trace generation. Try out Heart of Inmost Light for really quick ability cooldowns. Or perhaps Armamentarium, so you can pocket 2 grenades. Long story short, you got some options. Well, allow me to present you with another one. A less conventional method. If we take a look in our Arc subclass menu, we have Spark of Recharge as a fragment. While critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regen more quickly. Demonstration. When our Guardian takes damage and goes critical, Combat Meditation appears on the left side of our screen and will persist as long as our Guardian shields are completely depleted. We get back up into the white portion of the health bar, Combat Meditation goes away. During this period, our grenade and melee will have their recharge rate increased by 400%, so says Google, but we'll time things out for ourselves in just a moment here. But I mean, who in their right mind would want to rely on being nearly dead just to recharge their grenade? You'd have to be a masochist. Or a Tommy's matchbook enthusiast. Of which I am neither, that's why this is a concept video. But Tommy's, it's a 720 RPM exotic auto rifle that burns the user after firing the weapon for a prolonged period of time. It'll completely strip your Guardian shields, but it doesn't go any further than that. It's not gonna eat into that red health bar. But technically your health has gone critical, so this does work with Spark of Recharge. Combat Meditation does kick in, and the improved ability regen starts. So let's test it out. Let's see what we got here. And a few parameters to highlight just so you know exactly what's going on. My Guardian's gonna be at Tier 5 Recovery and Tier 9 Resilience for all of the testing. And I'm not running any resistance mods either. If any of these variables were to change, could it alter the test results? Maybe, but I really don't think it's worth getting that deep into it. Just for transparency's sake, that's where my Guardian is sitting. So I started things off at Tier 4 Discipline, putting the passive regen of the Storm Grenade at 1 minute and 27 seconds. So I tossed the grenade, started the timer as soon as it released, laid on the trigger with Tommy's, got rid of that pesky overshield, and let Spark of Recharge do its thing. The results, all in all, not too bad. The grenade was back up and ready to throw again in 25 seconds, but we did have a small hiccup there. Right in the middle of the cooldown, we did have to reload our weapon, and the shield did pop back up a touch. So I figured maybe I'll try it with Actium War Rig and see if that helps out at all. And it almost did. But even with the exotic equipped, we still ran out of rounds a shade too early, right at the tail end there. So the cooldown time wasn't really altered. Then I figured, hey, we'll just boost up that reload a little bit, throw on an auto rifle loader mod. Tommy's has a base reload stat of 0. One mod brings it up to 10. But it actually was just enough to get us reloaded and keep pumping out those rounds before the shields could re-engage. That brief window was way more inconsequential than I thought though, since with the auto rifle loader mod equipped, I was only looking at fractions of a second for the difference. But 24.9 was our most accurate test of the batch. But if we were already critical when we threw the grenade, we can eliminate that time frame at the beginning where Tommy's is burning off our shield. And this definitely did cut the recharge time down. When throwing the grenade after hitting critical health, Spark of Recharge got our grenade back in just over 20 seconds with the help of the auto rifle loader mod. This shows us 2 things. 1, we did get our grenade back 5 seconds quicker than the initial test, and 1 minute and 7 seconds quicker than the passive grenade cooldown. But 2, we did get a very accurate read on the Spark of Recharge ability regen improvement. It came in right at 335%, which is over 4 times faster than the listed grenade cooldown. This test was at Tier 4 Discipline though. If you're actually focusing on having your grenade up frequently, you'd probably want it to be a bit more respectable than that. So what if we bump things up to Tier 8 Discipline? Base cooldown is listed at 52 seconds. When performing the test starting at full health, the grenade was topped off in 21.6 seconds. That's opposed to 24.9 when we had to go at it at Tier 4 Discipline. When already critical when throwing the grenade, getting full use of Spark of Recharge, the grenade was back in 17.5 seconds. So we bought ourselves 2.5 seconds there by moving up 4 discipline tiers. The percentage increase on the cooldown does diminish though, which isn't completely unexpected. We do see this with a lot of cooldown affecting perks in Destiny 2, but 17.5 seconds to 52 seconds is a 197% increase. But still just about 3 times faster than the listed grenade cooldown. The big picture question though, is this information actually useful? Well, we did get a good read on Spark of Recharge, so that is nice to know. But in-game, is this actually something that you should be doing? And, well, I'll say this. There is a benefit to it. It does let you get your grenade back pretty quickly in a passive manner. Ability fuel like Wells and Traces, generally speaking, do require kill activation. This is passive regen. You don't need to kill anything, you don't need to damage anything. Other than yourself, of course. But you probably should be shooting at something. I mean, Tommy's does actually have pretty good primary damage output. Burning clips into a wall is a bit silly, but you can do it if you need to. Is it really worth all this for a storm grenade though? Well, if there is a grenade that's worth it, it's this one. Still, this is a bit of a runaround. I mean, what are you gonna say if mid-raid encounter, you see your buddy huddled up behind cover, just dumping magazines into the ground? What the f*** are you doing, bro?
Give me a second, man, I'm just getting my grenade back.
This just, it doesn't seem extremely practical to me. And even if you're making use of it in combat, like you probably should be, unless you're running something like a protective light build with some really tanky damage resistance, living in the critical range, especially in high-end content, can be very risky. But regardless, it does work, and it actually works out pretty well if keeping your grenade fueled up is your main objective. If you think you can make something happen with this, and you're crazy enough to try it out, more power to you. Let me know how it goes down in the comments. For the rest of you, if you did find the video remotely helpful or just somewhat enjoyable to watch, the like button is primed and ready for a pressing, and consider subscribing to the Ironworker Gaming channel if you would like to catch more of my Destiny 2 content in the near future. But with all that being said, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out this concept video. You guys are awesome, and I will catch you on the next one.